Test, test. Can you hear me? Rather, can I hear me? Test, test. Can you hear me? Okay, I can hear myself then. Okay, we're good. It was only after I got everything set up that I remembered, oh yeah, today's Thursday, not Friday. So this will probably be a shorter stream, so I don't run over, country evening. But, yeah, so yeah. Hi, surprise blunder stream, I guess. Means I'll probably do more tomorrow. Anyway, what we're doing today is, just some random mechanical bits and stuff. I'm not even going to worry about texturing it. This is just going to be a file, save as, and we're just going to call it assorted mechanical bits. There. New file. We're just doing various assorted mechanical bits. The overflow station and Galeno both are going to need some stuff, but also, one of our fellow age devs is doing something with heavy mechanical imagery and stuff. So I'm gonna build some stuff here too. So actually, to start with, I'm actually gonna go to our overflow station build. Where is that? Overflow. Come on, where is it? Where's my overflow station build? Come on, I know it's here. Object, let's see here. Statue stuff. Gear. I know I named those something obvious. Fountain gear. Yep, there we go. Fountain gear left. And apparently it paged in a light, but that's fine. Because I'm going to just, boop, boop. Move the textures on it. Move that. Move that. Yep, okay. And then I'm just going to go and delete that. Okay. So we got a big giant gear, which, is mostly just going to serve as giant gear template, and I'm just gonna generally size and rescale this as need be, but for the moment we got a big giant gear. But yeah, so we got a big giant gear. That's just there just to have the gear. So yeah, we're just going to just start creating things. I'm going to go with, one of the main things we're going to be working on is something, akin to a bottling press, which is, to say one of those big machinery pieces that has, a bunch of nozzles and stuff that presses down into something like a bottle. It fills it up. So for the starters, we're going to start with a cylinder. This is going to be our bottle press tube parent main. Now, just because I'm calling this a bottle press tube doesn't mean that it can only be used as a bottle press tube. In fact, I'm going to be intentionally designing this so it's kind of like a pneumatic piston sort of thing, so that, the idea for this is going to be that it's like, you know the mixer gear I was showing you in, the overflow station? It is, going to be like, it's going to be one of the pistons that'll make it raise and lower as, you know, things go on. But that's going to be at a massive scale. But if we then have it, and then if, say, we want to use it at a smaller scale, it works as something like, mechanical armature, or even as a bottle press, you know, so, yeah. We're not gonna like I said, we're not gonna worry about, we're not going to worry about the sheer I'm not going to worry about the scale of it. This is just me building stuff at a scale, and we will potentially use it later. We potentially not. Yeah, so I'm going to start with this, which is basically just going to come around down here. Yeah, that'll do. I'm going to pull that to here. I'm going to shrink this down to about here. And I'm going to delete that face, and technically now we have a big old cylinder here. And I'm going to actually, I'm going to pull this back a bit because I didn't quite get it right, but also, here we go. I want to kind of bevel the edges here a bit. I'm going to pull this up a bit, and then if I select that, face, yeah, there we go. Now we're just going to go along the edges here, and we're going to have a slightly beveled face. So yeah, this is probably, yeah, this is just probably going to be a shorter episode, but I finally caught up on the backlog of episodes. Let me see here. If I do that, close enough. Yeah, that'll do the trick, I guess. Yeah, that does the trick. Okay. Really? Control T. There we go. Okay, so now we've got... There we go. So now we've got our big giant metal cylinder here. Now you might be thinking, well, how are we going to make a thing that slides in and out of it? Well, the answer is pretty simple. We're just going to select all these inner faces here. We're going to duplicate them. We're going to scale them in just a bit. I'm going to flip their direction. And then I'm going to select that to its own material. And now we have a second object. So, yeah, now the trick is going to be, let's see, do I have back face going on? Yep, there we go. I'm going to enter scale. We're going to pull it in, scale the z-axis back up, and then I'm going to recalculate the directions on everything. Perfect. And we're going to scale it up, and we now have a big giant tube. So this is going to be pressure tube inner. Yeah, okay. So if I go back and look at my picture here. Yep, okay. I'm realizing, of course, I think I have this all upside down. Rotate Y 180. There we go. Rotation and scale. Location? No. Origin to geometry. Okay, so we have our two origins here, and now I'm going to take our inner tube, and I'm going to parent it to the parent, and then zero out the location, because it's all scaled weirdly. Okay. But now, here, if I grab this, nope, if I grab this and move it all around, yay, it's all moves as one thing now, which is basically the important thing. So we have our big tube here in the middle, and whenever we animate it, it can now go chunk and raise and lower and all of that good stuff. Next thing I'm looking at is going to be, these have some sort of binding ring around it. Yeah. This is some sort of binding ring. That makes sense. Tools. Duplicate. Scale it out. Scale it by the z-axis. Yeah, that'll do. If I pull that up. Okay. Push that. Now I'm just going to select only the edges here. And I'm going to scale those inward. Yeah, there we go. Now that gives that a sort of fancy shape, which I'm now going to... I'm just going to select all of these, then separate them off to their own object, which is now going to be binding ring. So yeah, these are all going to be kind of basically just sort of generic object shapes. I guess I'm not even going to worry about the texturing at the moment, because like I said, this is all going to just be, yeah, this is all just going to be generically, various machinery bits and all that. We're kind of tooling it. Okay. So if we have this, and it's going to go up and down. Okay. Now I'm going to take this, duplicate it. I'm going to bring it down. Now comes the fun part where we get to make it not parented to the parent, but to the inner tube. Yeah, so now I take this and I move that up and down. There we go. We see that moves perfectly together. But yeah, so I'm going to select all of the edges here, like we've been doing, and we're gonna pull that up. Yeah, that works all right. And we're gonna come along here. We're gonna select all these edges, pull them down. We're gonna scale them inwards. And then this is not going to be the binding ring. This is going to be the nozzle, or whatever bit is technically connected to the, you know. So I'm gonna bring this all the way down to its full extension, and then I'm gonna bring this up to here. To extrude it upwards, and it's not gonna fit perfectly, but that's fine. It doesn't have to. It just needs to. This is probably all unnecessary geometry, but I am and I will probably call it later, but I'm just modeling it for now for the sake of modeling it, and if I have it, I have it. If I don't need it, I don't need it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna scale this inward a bit. Yeah, actually, honestly, this entire upper ring is probably completely unnecessary to model. No, I'm just gonna get rid of that now. Delete faces. There we go. Now, consider if we pull. Now we're gonna have to make sure that all of those edges are come along here. Select all of these. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna scale that outward a bit. Go. There we go. Ah. And I'm gonna scale it out, extrude it upwards, and then nope. Nope, 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 nope. Check a look at them on you. Okay, I see where I'm going wrong there. Problem is, I need to scale this much more narrow. Which means to select all of these. Pull inward. Okay, that will lock in there, it'll come down. Yeah, okay. And best part is if that's the bottling nozzle, it doesn't need to be there permanently. This can be scaled however it needs to be scaled. Okay. So we've got we've got what is essentially our main nozzle for this thing done, which is very nice, but we also need a bigger piston container around it. So I'm going to take this thing. I'm going to do the face select thing. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Come on, select all the faces. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to duplicate that again. Put it off to its own selection chamber. Okay. Now, because it is And then you can then have this whole thing kind of retract inwards. So in order to make sure that that is all fitting properly, doop, boop, 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 boop. Come on. Come on, I say. Just select as much of this as we can. Yeah. Wait. Okay, right, that's right. Okay. Now we're going to scale it upwards on the z-axis. Pull this up to... Okay, so... yeah, there we go. Yeah, that should work well enough, I think. Now I'm gonna have to do... pull that up. There. Okay. And now this... technically should actually be the parent. Extension parent. And then this is going to go to upper chamber parent. And then 0, 0, 0. Okay. Make sure I've got that all. Okay. There we go. Now we've got basically a whole model ready to extend and condense, etc. Yeah. That's fun. Then we have all of this to move it, and then for actual bottling equipment, I'm going to duplicate all of this. What 5 is a good number? Yeah, 5 is a wonderful number. Okay. Then just for my own height reference, I'm going to pull this down to the point that we should be able to see it. Tube inner, we're going to pull this down essentially as far as we'll need it to extend. Okay. And now we have a big old hydraulic piston thing, which in use for part of the overflow station will match with this guy. Pretty big pieces of machinery if you bring an avatar over to it. At least for my intent at the overflow station. Yeah, sometimes I like to build things big. Don't ask me why. Yeah, okay. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to create a cube. Yeah, here we go. Put that over this one. I'm going to select our faces on the y-axis. See, that's what happens if you hit the Y. That's what happens if you hit the Y key before you actually hit the scale or extrude. If you just hit Y, it'll flat out separate the faces from your object, which can be handy in some situations, I'd assume. But not so handy when you're trying to create a cohesive mesh of an object. Okay. If I'm looking at the picture of this I just literally web searched bottling equipment, so I'm just literally looking at various images of bottling equipment machinery. Specifically, I'm looking at some long-winded, basically just a big old bench that has like cylinders and bits and bobs on top of it, and it's gonna fill in bottles and all that. So I'm just gonna basically try to I'm just basically going to be trying to replicate that. This is going to be bottling framework. Yeah. Oop. Scale that on the y-axis a bit more. Boop, boop. And then I'm going to extrude this backwards. And I'm just going to select these faces and extrude downward. Yep. Just gonna do that. And then just these faces to extrude downward. I'm gonna extrude downward again. I'm gonna delete that face. I'm going to delete that face. And then we're going to build out that. You might be wondering why a big old gap like this for? Well, the solution is, how else are bottles that are going to be filled with ink get put in here? And again, I'm designing this for somebody who needs bottling machinery primarily, but I want to have these pistons also for generic piston use. Okay, I think... And this will all be scaled, however they need to scale them. But I'm building it big, first and foremost, so I have the giant scale of the piston stuff. Anyway, so, yeah. Now let me look at the bottling equipment again. That's going to have, yep, doop, 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 doop. And then I'm going to have to extrude... Oop, actually, no. Doop, get rid of that one. And now I extrude that downwards. And we have a big old bench thing on legs. Ugh. Yeah, that actually looks pretty good, I think. It's a bit clunky looking, but it's literally just industrial machinery. I don't think that any really fancified their stuff all that much. So the next thing I think I need to do is next thing I think I have to do is build a big old cylinder on top of this. I'm gonna create a cylinder, X90, there we go, tab, scale, scale it back down a bit actually. Okay, I'm gonna grab that face and that face, scale on the Y, yeah, there we go. Let's pull this up and to the side a bit. Actually, let's parent this to the modeling framework. Yeah, okay, that works. I'm going to extrude that out by the y-axis. No. S, Y, let's pull them out properly. And then we're going to shrink them down a bit. And then on one end of this, we'll have, one end of this will have a pipe coming into it, I think. Maybe. That will depend on what end recipient wants for this, I think. Extrude scale. Let's scale it out with the x-axis. Scale that out, but nope, scale on the z-axis. Yeah, okay. Pull that like this. I'm just going to call this generic tank barbell. Okay. I'm going to go into this specific. Grab this specifically. Okay. So, now then, I'm going to select this. I'm going to select this. I'm going to extrude it downwards. And then I'm going to try my best to line this up with the base of the thing here. Yeah, okay. And then let's select you. Let's select you. Okay, those two should be the same ones. I'm going to extrude them outwards. Kind of just, yeah, okay. Should hold that. And then I'm just gonna, actually, I'm gonna leave those faces on there just for the moment because I don't know how much I'm going to need to keep for when I move this over to the overflow station. Okay, so we've got our I'm gonna leave everything flat shading for the moment, just because I don't need to make it smooth. It makes it easier to see. So yeah, we got a big giant tank for holding things. Yeah, I think that works all right. Now I just need to make new cylinders that connect from these and go to this thing. And to do that, I'm actually just going to grab this inner ring section. Duplicate. And flip direction by selection. You are going to be tube pipe. Yep, just tube pipe. Not very creative of a name, I know, but you should see some of the names Cyan gives to their meshes. In fact, you've probably seen several of the names Cyan gives to their meshes. So, yeah, nothing new there. We're going to pull this up, pull this back. I'm going to rotate it on the y-axis slightly. I'm going to pull this up, pull this back, rotate it on the y-axis slightly. I'm going to extrude, pull it out, pull it up, rotate on the y-axis slightly. I'm gonna just repeat that, I think. Oops, did I get that? No, I did not. I did not get that right. Let's do that. Nope. There we go. Pull that up. That. Okay, that's at the right angle, I think. I'm just going to rotate that a little bit more. We're just going to make this our last connection here. Yeah. There we go. And then I'm just going to duplicate it again. Duplicate. Doesn't matter if this is lined up perfectly. It probably should be. I'm just going to eyeball it. Okay. Now we have a big tank here that's going to pour stuff into the pistons, and yeah. Save. Yeah, that's looking all pretty good so far, I think. What next? What next? Thing with industrial bottling machinery is that they have to continually rotate in and rotate out new stock. So, what do I do? Think what I need to do next is extrude that out. I'm going to scale that by the y-axis, scale that by the z-axis. Yeah, okay. This is going to be something of our assembly line track, I think. That level for the moment. Yeah, there we go. Shrink that in. Okay, I think that'll do. Let's grab that. There we go. Okay, and now, okay, perfect. Grab this, grab this, and I'm going to extrude it back. Yeah, okay. Actually, yeah, that just looks weird. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop. Boop. Okay. Go back to our solid line. Doop. Okay. Now we'll extrude this out like that. And then, yeah, okay. So, now then, I'm going to take our newly created bits here. I'm going to just extrude it up. Ooh. Just realized I have a spacing error issue. Yeah, let's widen that out a bit. Yeah, okay. So, this raised section will be, something with an animated, track belt texture, or something like that, you know. Something generally like that. You know, conveyor belt sort of systems, and then, I don't know, a box can go under heat. I don't know. Somebody can. I don't know. I'm just building this out to have a piece, to have design to it, so. Yeah. I think it looks alright, though. Okay, now then. Bottles. I'm gonna create a cylinder again. I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up with our nozzle here. About as best as I can. Okay. Scale that inwards. Scale that downwards. That'll do. Pull that upwards. Yeah, that'll do. And extrude. Scale it outwards. Scale it downwards. Okay. Now comes the fun part of freehanding a bottle shape. Scale that outwards. So, like, these are going to be kind of like industrial sized, I think. Or, well, however big of a scale these end up being. Scale it downwards. Okay. If we do that, scale that. Get that down there. Yeah, that'll... Nope, that was the wrong direction. Scale that inwards. Yeah. There we go. And this is ink bottle, and it can be textured however they want it to be textured, etc., etc. I'm just gonna duplicate it. It's over here. Yeah. Okay, that looks alright for a bottle. Okay, it is 12:17. It's getting close. Hi, wonk. It is not a cookie machine, it's an ink bottle machine, but it could do cookies if you wanted it to, I suppose. But yeah, it's 12:17. It's getting close to be time for country evening, and yeah, I did not realize it was Thursday when I started this. I thought it was Friday. But yeah, so I think that's actually good enough progress for... Hold on. Yeah, now I know what I'm doing. Tab, scale that down. Oops, scale that up, actually. Yep, there we go. Yeah. Then this thing can spin and turn, and it'll move the little treadmill along, and it'll move the bottles and all that stuff. And I'm just realizing that I could potentially rework this mesh a bit more and make it a soda fountain. I guess I can keep going for a little bit then. But yeah, so basically what I'm thinking here is, yeah, so if I then duplicate, I may need to adjust the kerning on my gears here, but it'll visually look good enough if I duplicate, if I make them move fast, if I have them move fast enough, I guess, or if the person animating them has them move fast enough. Yeah, there we go. Rotation scale. There we go. So yeah, we've built a very big, giant, thing. Which is, way bigger than it really ostensibly needs to be, but, yeah, okay. We can definitely scale that down later. It is a machine thing. Yes, it is very much a machine thing. Oh yeah, but this is way bigger than I intended the actual recipient of this thing to be. I only have it this big because I need the injector pistons at this scale for something else, and I'm going to repurpose those because they're going to be similar designs, basically. Yeah, so. Yeah, I like the look of that. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. I can put a little, there. I have a little action figure sitting on top of it now. Somebody being punny. Yeah. Okay, anyway, so we've got all this. We've got a generic thing. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to flip the direction by selection. Yep, there we go. Tab. Let's bring that back into here. I'm not going to there we go. I'm not going to, like, pipe feeder thing. I'm not gonna, like, say where this thing should go or what. This is just gonna be a pipe feeder thing. Upwards. Turn. Actually, no, I'm just gonna give this a L turn. Because we are basically gonna do, like, what we did with the smaller pipes here, and we're just going to make this I'm just going to make this kind of turn upwards sort of thing. Yep. And then this can be turned and connected to whatever needs to be turned and connected to, etc., etc. Yeah, that'll do, I think. Has that gotten wider as I think that's gotten a little wide. Let me pull that in a bit. Okay, and then I'm just gonna pull it in like that. And yay, okay, that can go wherever it needs to go. It'll feed the yeah, I'm not sure gonna shrink that down a bit so it looks like it's actually feeding into there a bit more. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. That's a tube if ever I've seen one. And then it can be turned and connected however which way. Oh, that's some interesting equipment design, I think. What else am I missing from an assembly line thing? Bottling equipment. You know what? I think this is actually as good as I'm gonna get for a piece of bottling equipment. Um, yeah. Okay, it is 12:25. I'm thinking this really is a good place to stop because I want to get to country evening now. So I'm gonna stop it here. Thanks for watching this early stream. I will definitely be streaming more tomorrow, more Blender stuff tomorrow. But I will also be potentially streaming later tonight with video editing again. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do video editing again tonight. I've got the audio assets I need from the last player, the voice actor, so I'm gonna probably do more video editing tonight as a stream. So yeah. Yeah, I will see you all later in Nabry, later tonight, and tomorrow. Bye!